Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan added insults to the injuries she imposed on Michiganders. Her press conference yesterday characterizing the Operation Gridlock protest in Lansing yesterday afternoon.
So I think about the demonstrators here today, and I understand the frustration that people are feeling. I'm frustrated too. None of us wants to be here in this moment, but we are, and we have to do the best that we can. I think about kids who should be at school and miss their friends, for parents who, like me, want to see their child walk across the graduation stage in a month. I know that people are angry, and that's okay, and if you want to take it out and send it my way, if it makes you feel better, that's fine. I support your right to free speech, and I respect your opinions. I just urge you, don't put yourself at risk, and don't put others at risk either. I was really disappointed to see people congregating, not wearing masks. I saw someone handing out candy to little kids, barehanded. You know, when people are flying the Confederate flag and untold numbers who gassed up on the way here or grabbed a bite on the way home, we know that this rally endangered people. This kind of activity will put more people at risk.
There you go.
And sadly,
You're killing
it
people.
could prolong the amount of time we have to be in this posture. I just ask you to do your part by not spreading COVID-19 for the sake of those frontline healthcare providers that I was on a Zoom call with while the protest was going on.
Yep. I watched footage after footage, JBK, Wood TV. I did not see one Confederate flag anywhere.
They're there.
Did you?
She said they were there. I believe every single person was wearing a Confederate T-shirt, a wife beater.
Yeah.
Had a MAGA hat on. Had just finished assaulting Jussie Smollett. Drove up to Lansing, waving the flags around and passing out Trump literature. That's what I understand.
People are pissed because she's doing everything but locking people inside their houses.
We just want to be free pretty much and not sitting inside our houses.
Were the Munchkins there? What the hell
that
is
was
that?
a little kid because kids could go outside.
Why is she a queen? Yeah, because she's all of a sudden making decisions where she can close our entire state down, and it's against the will of the people. And if you take a look around here, it kind of seems like there's a lot of people upset by it.
You know what I heard just there?
What'd you hear?
Racism, xenophobia, homophobia. By the way, for her Zoom call, I don't know if anybody in the Michigan press corps, political press corps asked, but did her Zoom call with whoever she was talking to,
healthcare workers.
One of the things that's cool, an animal sanctuary in Silicon Valley called Sweet Farm is letting people pay to get llamas, goats, and other farm animals to tune into their video calls for less than $100. Make those Zoom meetings better, particularly if a politician is participating. So yeah, I think I'm going to make that a requirement for any Zoom call I participate in, particularly if it's with Gretchen Whitmer. She's not the only governor that has authoritarian tendencies. Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey had this exchange with Tucker Carlson on the topic of religious liberty and the incident where Jewish congregants at a synagogue were arrested by New Jersey police. And listen to Phil Murphy's defense.
So you made that decision, and as I noted before, 15 congregants at a synagogue in New Jersey were arrested and charged for being in a synagogue together. Now, the Bill of Rights, as you well know, protects Americans' right, enshrines their right to practice their religion as they see fit and to congregate together to assemble peacefully. By what authority did you nullify the Bill of Rights in issuing this order? How do you have the power to do that?
That's above my pay grade, Tucker. So I wasn't thinking of the Bill of Rights when we did this. We went to first of all, we looked at the data and the science.
Yeah. We weren't thinking of the Bill of Rights, but you know why? Because we have the Bill of Science and the Bill of Data. Just understand the importance of that statement. The Bill of Science and the Bill of Data. We have science and data. Science and data trumps the Bill of Rights. Oh, okay. Well, then you're going to see the Bill of Rights be eviscerated in toto if all it takes to eliminate people's rights as enshrined in those 10 amendments is for somebody to invoke science and data. Terribly troubling, that answer, or it should be. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Chadwick Moore again. He is former editor-at-large of Out Magazine and The Advocate, contributor to Playboy, The New York Post, and the columnist for Spectator USA. Chadwick, thanks for joining us.
Hey, great to be here. Good morning.
Hey, sorry about how your colleague there, Brian Karam over at Playboy, got treated by the president the other day, but he just can't keep quiet. He's a big loudmouth, I understand.
Well, I'm no longer with Playboy, thankfully, but yeah,
okay.
that was unfortunate to see.
Yeah, okay, all right. We're going to make an adjustment to your bio there. What about what's happening at the state level? A lot of talk, and including on our show, about the limits on presidential power, which is appropriate. Not enough talk, it seems to me. We're trying to make amends for that, of the limits of power at the state level.
Right, and I mean, Gretchen is just Whitmer has just really revealed herself to be one of the most softly spoken and terrifying authoritarians in our country in terms of state governors. I noticed the other day that, of course, all of these horrible so-called fact-checking websites like Snopes and PolitiFact and whatever, which just run cover for the Democrat Party, said that it was absolutely false that she banned gardening and she banned planting your own vegetables and things like that. And then, 30 paragraphs down into the article, it said, well, she did say that the stores can't sell those things. So, but the statement is still false.
Yeah, but she also banned fishing, so people can't fish. And even if they're in boats by themselves, 363 people were cited over Easter weekend for fishing.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, it's absolutely. I mean, who's in her pockets? I don't know. It's insane. And also, there was the you're not allowed to visit other people's homes.
Right. Just lock them in their houses.
Right. Lock them in their houses. And of course, we did see, thankfully, a nice victory in Kentucky with when I believe it was the mayor of Louisville,
right,
who started giving $500 tickets to people attending church in their cars. And a court just ruled that he couldn't do that and threw those cases out. So some good news on that front.
Well, and the Department of Justice is interceding on behalf of the congregants of the Mississippi Church who were fined $500 for doing a drive-in service. Maybe they'll intercede on behalf of those Jewish congregants in New Jersey that Phil Murphy was talking about. But the concerning thing too is, and perhaps this explains Gretchen Whitmer, why would somebody do that and generate 15,000 odd protesters to descend on Lansing 72 hours after she issues the order? And the answer could be because it pays politically. The Morning Consult numbers, now this is before the order that she gave, but rating her performance and looking at other governors who have been quick on the trigger when it comes to draconian measures like these, they see their approval ratings go up significantly among the body politics. So they stoke fear, and then they come in over the top, and then they yield the political benefit from doing so.
Right, and that's very revealing. I mean, we have to kind of confront the fact that the majority of people, it seems, when we are faced with some sort of a crisis, do want a leader who want authoritarianism. They do want a leader to come in and direct and tell them how to live and what rules to abide by. They want someone who seems strong. Now, she does not seem strong. She kind of comes off as someone who made a mistake and she's doubling down. And maybe that's just her posturing demeanor. But, that doesn't surprise me at all that those numbers would go up. People are, by and large, the majority of people aren't maybe constitutional scholars and really interested in these issues and these facts. They simply just want a leader to seem like they're in control. And one way to, whether it's effective or not, her measures are not going to make much of a difference. It's that perception it gives that she's really taking charge and she's going to protect you.
Well,
when really,
yeah, and the predicate for all this, of course, is right as Michigan is one of the harder hit states with respect to the outbreak.
But it's Detroit area, not
right.
Yeah, well, okay, so let's talk about the Detroit area. Beaumont Hospital Wayne closed in Metro Detroit this week, transferring its last patients to other hospitals on Tuesday. The hospital says the closure is temporary. They're preparing for a second surge. However, this hospital was designated as COVID-19 under current executive orders. They can only treat COVID-19 patients. Beaumont says they cannot provide any other type of care at that facility until those orders are lifted. but they don't have any patients, or they don't have enough patients to sustain the hospital's operation under that executive order. So there's the weird, morbid, creepy, almost inexplicable desire by some to treat this as more lethal and more pervasive than it actually is. And that also seems to account Gretchen Whitmer among its members.
Right. Well, and that's also, we just had here in New York, I think it was 4,000 deaths that they've now decided to deem as COVID-19 deaths. However, people who died did not test positive. So and one thing I do know here is that the majority of people who get the virus are told by their doctors to not get tested. And this happened to a friend of mine. They're told to stay home. Yes, you definitely have it. Don't go get tested, because if you leave, you're going to spread it around. If you go to the hospital, you can pick up something else. If you have trouble breathing, then go to the emergency room, then go to the hospital. But by now, just stay home, treat it like a really bad flu. So while they're inflating numbers of deaths, they're not inflating the number of cases. We know there are vastly more cases than we have reports for, but they're going to take all these deaths and say that oh, well, these are COVID-19 deaths because they probably died of it, or they wouldn't have died if they hadn't got it, even though they died of something completely unrelated to the virus. They might call it complications. So that in itself just makes the numbers go up and makes it look more lethal and more scary. Well, I wonder, why would the government want to do that?
It's so irresponsible. Well, you wrote a great article about body positivity's big silence, and you talked about something that not a lot of people are focusing on. There was a study out of New York where 69% of the people that were 60 and younger who died were obese. And no one's talking about that. And that's seems to be a big problem.
Right, exactly. And this is how we've seen it took a little while, but they eventually got there for the to begin calling the virus, racist and homophobic and transphobic. And they landed on the racism thing, that's disproportionately affecting Black communities and Hispanic communities. While that appears to be true, it's the underlying problem is pre-existing conditions, and obesity is a pre-existing condition. So something like close to 70% of people in ICU with COVID-19 have diabetes, they have hypertension, they have heart disease.
Due to obesity,
all
though.
Obesity related, obesity related, exactly. And so what might be focused on this race narrative? It's actually just, sadly, lots of urban Black communities do tend to have higher rates of obesity. They have higher rates of diabetes. So it's not a race thing or a skin color thing. It's a pre-existing condition, and nobody is talking about this.
Yeah.
And you've seen the body positivity people, that forever telling us that 900-pound people are beautiful the way they are. Well, they've been completely silent on this, because this is one of the true scientific facts that actually does make it more deadly for you if you were to catch the contagion.
And the pre-existing condition as well, with respect to minority communities, is that they've been lorded over for 25, 50, 100 years, where they disproportionately live, by Democrats. So in terms of talking about the quality of health care they have, the quality of job opportunities they have, the quality of education they have, which all go into your how healthy you can be, are contributing to how healthy you can be. Well, I guess it's time to look at who your leadership is as they're running around, trying to anthropomorphize a virus. But the way you describe it in this piece, anti-woman, hateful towards immigrants, homophobic, it almost sounds like it could have been a protester in Lansing yesterday. He is Chadwick Moore. He's former editor-at-large of Out Magazine, The Advocate, New York Post columnist, and columnist for Spectator USA. Check out his very entertaining but instructive, illuminating piece on body positivity's big silence at spectator.us. Chadwick, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Always a pleasure.
Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.